Hi, this is Abhimanyu, and if you feel a little chill in the air, it's because I'm with the cast of Kapkapiii, the upcoming horror comedy, and of course with them there, Kapkapiii to chhootni hi hai. Thank you for your time and welcome to Hindustan Times. I have Tusshar, Sonia and Siddhi with me. Thank you guys.
Thank you for having us.
You look a little too relaxed and not spooked, but in the film it's still a little different. Apart from you, everyone else is spooked. You are somewhat of an unpredictable character, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, in real and real.
In real and real. I won't ask about your characters as such, but I'll decide how this interview goes based on the next answer. When it comes to the paranormal and supernatural, are you guys believers or non-believers? Starting with you, Tusshar.
I wouldn't say I'm a believer, neither am I a non-believer. I would say I'm a passive believer. And I like flirting with the paranormal.
Whoa.
Let's look at it that way.
Nice. That's
watching horror films. कुछ तो connection है मेरा horror फिल्मों से, इतनी की है, इतनी देखी है. Quiz भी मैंने जीत लिया पिछले interview में. Yes. So कुछ तो है.
कुछ तो है. Yeah. Very well put. Sonia?
Ignorance is bliss. I don't know anything about, I don't want to know anything about it. I'm very happy that way.
Never had paranormal experiences, never want to have.
No.
Perfect. That's the way to go about it. Siddhi, you?
I think mine is quite the opposite. I'm very interested in knowing what is there somewhere beyond the universe. Very inquisitive, very wanting to know everything. So I'm interested, but like, I hope Kapkapiii ke through kuch to paranormal activities hoegi.
We have a complete spectrum here, from a complete believer to someone in the middle of the road to a non-believer and does not want to believe at all.
Not that I don't believe, I just don't know.
Want to encounter.
Yeah, I don't want to be there.
Be there. But while you were filming this, and of course it revolves around Ouija board, which hasn't been dealt with in Hindi cinema that often. It's more seen as a Western thing. Was there something happening? Was there a time when you felt like, okay, this is a little spooky? Because sometimes in the aura of it all, it happens. Was there something like that?
I mean, when like 4 of us used to sit and try to like play the board. So first of all, it's a very fascinating game, so as to say, to play. And it's on a carom board, right?
Right.
So we're also used to doing that on the carom board. So it took us a while to kind of figure out that this is not the ideal game that we're supposed to play. It's something else on it. And to have it associated with some sort of a paranormal activity or एक intent के साथ आप आत्मा को बुला रहे हो, and then just one random light will flicker and all of us will have Kapkapiii. ये क्या हो रहा है? In the middle of takes.
So the production could have easily messed with you guys, no?
I mean, absolutely. They could have, and they have.
They have, really?
Yeah, they have.
They did?
I didn't. I felt once, I spoke about it earlier, which is in the mirror. I spent a lot of time in this film, not a lot, but many scenes, जहाँ पर मैं खुद को mirror में देख रही हूँ और वो भी बहुत creepy expression के साथ. और बचपन में when I first heard about ghosts and atma, my close friends and stuff, they always used to say कि आत्मा उन पे ही भड़कती है, I mean उनमें ही समाती है जो मतलब थोड़े weak हो या खुद का like something like that. And so I just remembered throughout the film when I'm looking at myself being so creepy and weird, I'm just like, Sonia, तू बहुत strong है. Sonia, तू सही है, कुछ नहीं हुआ है. I had to keep like reminding myself.
Reminding yourself and the atmas.
हाँ. यही है.
ये लड़की नहीं है.
उनको ही बताना है, हटो यहाँ से.
Tushar, for you, was there ever a moment like that, or were you the prankster?
Neither was I the prankster, and neither did anyone play a prank on me, or neither did anybody, ghost dared to play spook with me.
I think you're a veteran in this field, ना?
I think so. और I think हमारे schedules इतने intense थे, रात के shoots होते थे, इतनी ठंड थी और इतना मतलब I think जो बंगला था जहाँ हम शूट करते थे बहुत ही dusty था, बहुत ही it was deliberately made to look very grungy and feel very grungy. तो circumstances were tough. तो यही था कि अरे यार भूत भैया अगर तो आ भी गया तो ये बता दे कि गर्मी कभी आएगी. So it was rather than make us spooked, it was more like, okay, now come and entertain us. We are so busy working and working so hard. Can you make us feel a little better?
I think when you're in that moment, nothing else matters from like nothing can spook you except a bad except probably the cameraman saying, "Oh, sorry, record nahi hua," and we just.
Or you're getting stuck in a in a pattern of retakes. When that happens, that's very spooky.
That's spooky.
When you get stuck on a line or you get stuck in a shot which is very simple, but you don't know why you're getting stuck. It's like a loop you get into, and that can happen also because of something supernatural. Who knows? वैसे तो बहुत हुए हैं spooky moments.
That must be something. Of course, the promotions are happening and the film is coming out, so there's anticipation. But the director himself not being here is a sort of a bittersweet thing, right? I mean, it was his child, his baby, and you've worked with him before.
Yes,
you have a long association, almost 20 years.
Yes.
What's that like that you want to celebrate this film? His memory, of course, but he's not here to see how it turns out.
It's a little unbelievable because इतने दिन हमने साथ बिताए हैं, इतने मोमेंट्स साथ बिताए हैं इस फिल्म को लेकर, वर्कशॉप से लेकर कॉस्ट्यूम ट्रायल्स तक और फोटो सेशन से लेकर शूट तक, रैप पार्टी भी हुआ था, मेरा बर्थडे भी सेलिब्रेट किया गया था इस फिल्म की मेकिंग के दौरान. So we've been together and it happened after so long, after कि अकेले हम, और इतनी डिस्कशंस हुई हैं इस फिल्म को लेकर कि अभी तो बिलीव ही नहीं हो रहा. डबिंग भी थे, डबिंग में भी वो असिस्टेंट को नहीं भेजते, वो खुद आते थे हर सेशन में. So it's sometimes it just feels very hard to fathom, but we are living in such times wherein nothing surprises you anymore because things are really turbulent, I think, and one has to just accept whatever comes your way, mourn it, and then you have to move on and start your life again. So it's a bittersweet feeling, that's very appropriately put. Sad that he isn't here, but the happiness is the fact that he's here with us in spirit, and the film is seeing the light of day at the right time, at the right in the right month, and it's being released in an appropriate manner.
Right.
So fingers crossed.
Which is very important today because sometimes just films don't get that, like they fail
get
to get
delayed
that.
on an indefinite time zone,
It's very easy these days. It can happen very easily for a number of reasons. So for that to happen, it's like honoring his memory and his hard work. Tushar, I have to ask, of course this is an adaptation, remake, whatever you want to call it, of Romancham, a film, and in today's time as opposed to 20 years ago, remaking or adapting something has taken a different dynamic. Why? Because earlier there was not that much penetration of something. If it was a Malayalam film or a Kannada film or a Tamil film, very few people would watch it. Now because of streaming and everything else, the expanse has increased. So people come out with having watched something. I'm not saying they won't watch it. They will want to compare, they would want to just watch it for its own sake. But does that give you an extra pressure of sort that more people are aware that something else exists upon which this is inspired by, based on?
Yes, that definitely is a slight concern. But I'd like to believe that Romancham has its own niche audience in the South, and there is a huge audience base that hasn't watched it.
Right, of course.
And for example, I would want to watch a film which is a remake in the theatre with people like, actors whom I can identify with. And I'll keep that as my first choice, though both languages are equal for me. But when a film releases in Hindi, I'll go and watch it irrespective of it being a remake, and there are millions of others like me.
True.
So that is one reason, and the other reason is the fact that we've given it a new take on Romancham. Even though it is a remake, it's a new take.
It's not a shot by shot as they call it.
It's a new vibe, a new director, a new cast. And remake hote hue bhi, there are elements that are,
of course,
which have been enhanced, the elements that have been added, and Sangeet ji has given his own twist to it regarding the horror elements and the romantic elements and the music elements.
Right.
So there's a lot more. I would like to believe that.
You have to take it into the cultural context of Malayalam viewer.
We've northernized it. Let's
northernized, You have to take it because Hindi audiences view stories differently as opposed to someone from Kerala or someone from Karnataka. It's always very different.
I feel like because I work in the South,
of course,
predominantly, Romancham was a film which I loved because I closely understand the language. But sometimes what happens is a lot can get lost in translation. Because if you're watching with subtitles, maybe sometimes you don't get the whole experience of it. So with this particular attempt, it's again, like Sir said, it's very northernized. It has its own different flavor altogether. Romancham didn't have the curls. Now Kapkapiii does. So it is a whole new packaging, which I feel will set well with everybody that has not watched Romancham.
Right. I have to come to you because this is, like you said, you work predominantly in the South, and of course this is your second Hindi film after 2 years. The experience of your previous film, has it toughened you? Because the attention that came your way was positive, negative, everything, and a lot of it on social media. Has it made you like battle-hardened soldier now, almost?
I think no matter what you do in life, like film after film, there's a whole different experience. Like if Kerala Story had made me strong in a certain kind of way, maybe Kapkapiii will make me strong in a different kind of way altogether. So you can never anticipate what is going to happen. So that's one thing. And with like with Kerala Story, I feel it was just a film that was required. It was a story that was, the intent was to tell the story to a wider audience. And the way that the film was accepted and not accepted, both are parts and parcels of the final product. It's given us a lot to feel proud of. And that's the taking that I am going to settle with.
That's important because you should always be proud of your work.
Absolutely.
In that moment, you did it because you believed in that, right? And that's what it is. I have it's not a trick question, but I always wonder sometimes that you came into this industry, what, 23, 24?
20, it's going to be 25th of May. 25th. 2 days after the release of this film, I'll complete 24 years.
24 years, yeah. That's longer than many journalists have been alive today. So in my profession. But I've always find it so fortunate because back in that time when I was in school and you guys were coming out, we gave actors a chance. And when I say actors, nepotism was not a buzzword. And suddenly everyone was not attacked just for being who they were. Do you feel sometimes fortunate सही time पे आ गए आज तो?
मेरे time पे भी बहुत शुरू हो गया था, especially if you are from a certain background, then the glass is always half empty. अच्छा. For a certain section of the media, so you have to be very thick-skinned and बहुत मतलब नीचा गिराने की कोशिश, बहुत analyze करना, बहुत negativity थी.
Comparisons and of course.
Comparisons से लेकर मतलब कि अगर आप naturally आते हो किसी press conference में without makeup and hair done etc. वो ज़माना अलग था. फिर आपको criticize किया जाता था कि आप हीरो दिखने के लायक नहीं हो. और अगर आप आते हो मेकअप हेयर के साथ then आप कितने फिल्मी हो, मतलब you don't have the natural ability. So everything was tried to be pulled down. वो शुरू हो गया था, but I feel fortunate enough to have the willpower to tolerate it and just concentrate on my work.
Right.
And I think that work ethic is what took me forward, and the film released and did really well.
Right.
Otherwise, I could have been crushed under this pressure, external pressure. I didn't really come into the industry feeling pressurized or feeling like I have to live up to someone's expectations. But I think there was an attempt to constantly judge and derail my path. And I won't club everybody in that category. I'll say there's sections of the media that do that. And then there is the audience that is very pure. They will judge you basis what they see on screen.
Right.
So once the movie came out, I think I feel like I got a lot of love compared to before the release of the film.
Right.
So contrary to what people think, when you are a star son, you don't exactly have a red carpet. You can get a film much easier. The first film can come into your lap much easier.
Right.
But even that is a chance to complete that film well, to make it work. What choices you make out of the film, it's all an unknown.
Right, completely.
Not every Star Son's film does well, etc., and the acceptance from the audience, I mean, that is an unknown. But yeah, you can get that first film much easier, but the constant scrutiny and the idea that no matter what you do, the glass is half empty, that is something you have to face and move on with.
And of course, you've done it quite well.
Like romantic film करो तो सिर्फ romantic film करते हो, फिर comedy करो तो फिर comedy film करते हो. You know, there's always some tag,
Was that why you tried to be diverse?
No, I didn't really attempt to be diverse, but I took challenges on.
Right.
And there are so many actors, not from who don't come from the film industry, who've not had so many successes, but they are hailed as being icons of diversity and blah blah blah. And there are a number of actors like me who from the industry, and no matter how many successes we do, we're always judged. Acha, सिर्फ multi-star करता है. ये करता है. It's always like, acha,
I see what
he has to do some more to prove it to us. So you have to ignore it. You have to ignore it. You have to believe in yourself and stand on your own 2 feet. And chalo, there are pros and cons to everything.
Of course.
Right. Yeah.
But that's a very nice message. I think anyone who's trying to enter the industry should listen to. Having thick skin is important whether you're from outside the industry or from a film family. Because particularly now with social media, as you guys know, it's very important to not be affected by any jibe or barb that is coming your way. Else you'll just spend 24 hours responding to people, right?
Yeah.
But thank you guys for the time, and I hope Kapkapiii is a grand success. And all the best, and once again, thank you for coming to HD.
Thank you so much. Thank you. A lovely interview.